Oh my god, it's like every video of mine, since it's about bad news, is starting with that theme, but especially this one. Eastern Asia is dead in the next 20 to 30 years. I'm gonna tell you why. This video, this rant about education systems, you know, enough talk about the snobs in Irvington BOCES, that's not the biggest issue. That's like the smallest issue now, because there are places like New York State who are bullying all students, especially ones with special needs. The state governments are the bullies in school, not the snobs. They issue these Regents tests that one of which is just, well, two of which, now that I'm thinking about it, the global history regions can be hard, but they made that one easier. But one of which is just impossible. It's the English regions. That's why I made my music video, I Can't Score 55. But this is not the topic of the video, is New York State or any state in the United States. It's Eastern Asia and their corrupt education systems. The worst three to go to schools in, the worst three countries to go to schools in are South Korea, China, and Japan. Yeah, these schools focus too much about studying hard, making students too stressed out, especially between ages of 10 and 20, and just should be enforced with international law enforcement. Should be stopped, because countries like that are just going to fall into ruin when more people like me appear to take over the world's population. More autistic people who can't handle environments like that. That's going to take away the population of those countries and diminish them. Then their economies are just going to fall into ruin, because these education systems are just too tough for anyone in the world to handle. You've heard of all the suicides that are occurring in those countries because of this issue. Well, these countries need to get their act together, or companies like Samsung, AMD. Yes, I said AMD. They're gonna fall apart, and those aren't the only two companies. We're not gonna see Nintendo anymore. We're not gonna see any Eastern Asian companies anymore. And here's the problem with all those phone companies disappearing, is that Apple's going to take over since they're American. And America will get their act together with education in a much better way, but not completely. But Apple's just going to take over and make their products increasingly, unimaginably worse, and less support, actually no support, maybe even negative amounts of support. And then raise their prices to the 10,000s for like a smartphone, or like $100,000 for a computer. This is what's going to happen if these education systems don't shape up in Eastern Asia and make their systems easier. I should probably be using the safe education program that I've been planning in Eastern Asia, and I will soon, once I get it done in New York. It's just hard to do it in a foreign country from here. But these schools are just too much. I actually expected all this talk until this point in the video to last like 8 or 10 minutes, but I'm actually only at 3:39. But these issues in the education system, these bullies in the government, need to stop. And they gotta stop telling bullies to stop bullying people, because they're doing the same thing. I mean, they're the real bullies. I mean, come on. Don't they see what they're doing? They're making these students cram overnight. They're losing sleep that they desperately need. They are not going to be getting into colleges because they just can't handle the work that high school is putting onto them. They're just going to drop out of school once they're legally old enough to. Once they get to high school, they're probably going to like just skip school altogether after elementary school, and because they just can't handle anything above that. And not to mention that they're like taking over their personal lives too. That should be illegal. And actually, wait, it is. So yeah. These countries, why bother living in them when they're gonna fall apart economically?